Well, Steve, thank you so much for helping me with my project.
No problem.
Um, so did you know that we're going to the moon in 2024?
Very much so.
And how did you find out about it?
Oh, I've been, I guess, following space Twitter um, for over a year now. I think when I got excited um, when I heard that Elon Musk posts all the good space news on Twitter, so I thought I should get on Twitter. And then I started following all sorts of people, including, the administrator, Jim Bridenstine, just lots of folks out there who are into what is now Artemis. So that's how I found out about it.
It's interesting. I've talked to some people, and I mean, I've talked to about 160 some odd people at this point, and out of them, I would say only about maybe 25 or 30 knew that we're going to the moon in 2024. And in fact, one person said, "Why is NASA keeping it a secret?"
Yeah, there are quite a few people out there who think NASA just keeps all kinds of secrets. I'm not one of them. Not much into conspiracies. So,
But I think it goes to show you how, even though it was on the State of the Union address, even though NASA is blowing up social media with it, there's lots of people that are completely not seeing that news, because
I agree. I I talk about it all the time with my friends and family. I will post on Facebook about it periodically. Um, I think once once we see the core stage do its green run, um, and that makes the news, and then we hear more about the different lunar landers. Uh, it's going to get in people's faces, and they won't be able to ignore it. They'll know that it's happening. So it's just like it'll sort of be like yesterday, where you just couldn't ignore the news. I mean, everybody knew. Well, I think most people knew that we were launching, American astronauts, on American rockets, from American soil.
I know the enthusiasm yesterday actually led to me being in the car today because Tuesday, my youngest son, well, actually, he was asking on Sunday, which have made more sense. He's like, "Hey, can we go drive to Florida?" And on Tuesday, I found out my stepsister was driving, and she's like, "You should come," and that pushed me over the edge. So we hopped in a car and came out here to Florida to watch the launch yesterday.
Wow. Um, I mean, I know this isn't me asking you questions, but how was that?
It was crowded. There was a gazillion people out there, lots of enthusiasm. You know those that I think is what uh, Space Flight Now or U.S. Launch Reports or one of them. They
Yes.
had like one of these huge cameras with like that you like sit in, and it like it's like a huge like anti-aircraft type of camera type thing. So that's how they get those really close views.
Wow.
I mean, it was like on a trailer, like it was like mounted.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is
You
cool.
remember September 1st, 2016, whenever they had that explosion of the Falcon 9 rocket carrying that satellite?
Yes.
And, you feel like you're like right there. I think these are the people that got that shot. They
Wow.
just, they just camp out there and film anything that's there. But it was amazing. Everybody was excited, lots of enthusiasm, a lot of disappointment right now, but lots of
Oh, sure.
enthusiasm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've when I used to follow the building of the space station very closely. Each module, each part that they would launch, and it was always, I couldn't wait to see it get up there and get built, and so I'd kind of hang on every launch, and it's Florida, And in the summertime or late spring, it's hard to remember a launch that always went off right on time. So it was disappointing, but there's plenty of opportunities the next week. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I mean, there's just so much going on right now. It looks like they're going to do another static fire of the Starship that's in Boca Chica. They're getting ready to do that in the next probably 30 minutes. So, and I see
really?
I see that as an extension of Artemis because Starship is one of the lander choices. So it's just all connected. It's great. I mean, it's just so exciting right now. I wish makes me wish I could turn back the clock, 20 years and make some life choices to put me in in line to be one of those astronauts going up there. But hey, maybe my son, he's 20, he's got a chance.
Well, I still have hope for you and me. I think we're probably close to the same age, but I think like in the next 10 to 20 years, I mean, if you look at the two astronauts yesterday, one of them I think was significantly older than us. So,
yep, and they're it'll be interesting to see what kind of a mix of astronauts for Artemis 2. Actually, they'll probably announce, I would think, Artemis 2 and Artemis 3 astronauts at the same time. Who are they going to be? And it'll be a mix of young and old. I know it'll be a huge, male and female multicultural mix. But I'm just wondering, how are there going to be people who are, nearing 60? It'll be interesting to see who they pick.
It's interesting. One of the questions I end with usually is, if it was safe and affordable, would you go into space? And I've had some older people kind of say, I don't think I'm fit enough, or I'm well enough, and things like that. And I keep thinking about like the space elevator. If we ever did something like that, you could potentially take a week-long trip into orbit, and it'd be just like less stressful than taking a trip across from Houston to the Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah, if it was safe and affordable, I would do it. I would do it. I get a little. I'm kind of a white knuckle flyer, but I think when that the destination is that awesome, you just bear down and you get through it. Not a big roller coaster guy, but I deal with them. So
I think the biggest part is the takeoff and the landing.
We went to Kennedy Space Center 7 months ago, and we went to the visitor center, and they have the shuttle simulator. So, and they act like the payload bay is essentially there's like 30 seats in the payload bay. So they strap you in, and then of course you're horizontal, and then they take you vertical, and it's like you're taking off, and it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I think if it was just like that, I could handle it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got our mask, and we got gloves, and the Kennedy Space Center opened back up today. We got tickets. So if you have any advice on things we should do.
Oh, well, I mean, just as they take you through, the most awesome sight is when they show you a video of the shuttle program, and then they open these doors, and you walk in, and you see Atlantis there, just kind of suspended from above you. Yeah, and it's just amazing. And you walk around, and what I did, I thought was really cool is you get to be so close to those RS-25s, those engines on the back of it, and that 4 of them are going to launch the SLS. You're like, wow, it's that to me. I mean, if you go and you take the tour, you're gonna get to go there. Also, I liked when you go to the it's I think it's the Saturn V Center. It's out near the watch where you can go out, where you used to be able to go out and watch flights. I don't know if they've opened it again yet, but just walking under the Saturn V is awesome. When my kids were like 4 and 7, we took them there, and unfortunately, when they were that little, they were awed by it, but I don't think they could really grasp it. So it was nice to go back 6 months ago and just take time, take pictures. We got to a spot. If you pay extra money, I hope they let you do it right now. You can take an extended, like behind the scenes bus tour of the launch site. And they took us all the way out to a spot where, like, you could, if you stood in one spot, you turn to the left, you turn to the right, and you can see both pads 39A and B. We went to one spot where, I mean, you can basically see all of the launch sites. They're pretty far away, but there are dolphins in the water. I mean, it was. I'd go back again. My brother's moving to Orlando, so I'm hoping I'll be able to visit him often, and then we'll just drive over and watch Artemis 1 and Artemis 2 and Artemis 3 and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and you have that Dear Moon project too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I have a feeling that Elon Musk, no matter how NASA gets involved, he's going to push forward, and he's going to send people. Whether that happens before Artemis or not, I don't know. I kind of like having both things running at the same time. I like having the government sponsored program, and then I like having like the Maverick programs off to the side. That way, in case one or the other doesn't work out, you still got something to be excited about. And to me, going back to the moon and probably on to Mars, hopefully in our lifetimes. I mean, that's I can't think of anything more exciting.
Yeah, in fact, Jim Bridenstine talked about that on Tuesday in an interview with Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. He was saying, some people are saying this is a replacement for the shuttle, but it's not. It's a transformation of how NASA operates.
Yeah, I saw that interview. It was great. I mean, Tim Dodd, he's hilarious. I really like him. I like to watch his stuff. So, and then to have both Bridenstine and Musk in the same room, I mean, what a scoop.
Yeah, especially the part that stuck out to me was how Tim starts to ask about what was the Dragon XL and the lander, and Elon's like, I just want to focus on this. This is the only thing we're talking about. But he says, but we'll talk about that later because I like talking to you. Now, that had to make him feel really good. I know I would love to be in that group.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand where Elon Musk was coming from at that time. I mean, even though, he said that he was going to not do, he wasn't going to do any static fires or anything until after the 27th. But maybe that's why he's doing it today, thinking, sure, they didn't launch, but it could be another couple of days before they launch. It might be a week before they launch. And let's just keep moving ahead with our programs, because they're like, I can walk and chew gum at the same time, kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm sure Elon, even if they're doing Starship stuff, he's probably still sweating about DM2, and just the coverage yesterday by SpaceX was outstanding. I don't know how much of it you got to watch, being on the road and out in the wild, but it was just fabulous. I mean, it was almost just like being there. I mean, the camera placement, everything was great. Everything was great. Yeah, I mean, 4 hours to sit through that, and then to get down to 17 minutes was tough. I mean, were you? How did you find out that that they had scrubbed?
Um, I think I had heard like the weather guys like, hey, we have these high clouds. They won't clear into at least 10 minutes past the thing. And then so that's when we kind of have the thing. But whenever people were saying it scrubbed and started walking away, that was a big clue.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
yeah. So what can we do to get the word out there to more people?
now I think social media is definitely the way to go. Um, you know, um, I I can't. You know it the news networks and things like that. I don't know if everybody watches them as much as they used to, but I think kind of what NASA's doing right now with NASA Social. um I think that once I know once the hardware starts um being put together at KSC for Artemis 1. There's going to be so many pictures of that. There's going to be so much talk about it, that that Artemis is going to have many more followers on Twitter and Facebook, etc. And it's just going to spread like wildfire. It's just like it's like people like you spreading the word. um, that's how we're gonna get people to know about it, and then ultimately to support it. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's about, I mean, the NASA social thing is brilliant. Find people with big social followings and completely unrelated to space and bring them in and give them a close front row seat and have them propagate that.
yep.
That's brilliant. Well, Steve, any additional thoughts?
Um, no, I mean, it's the COVID-19 thing has been horrible, and unfortunately, I know it's got to impact um, Artemis, and um, I guess the entire space program in general. But I'm hoping that um, we can find a vaccine soon, so we can kind of get back to a more normal life, normal economy, um, and we can start talking again more about the things, like how great the space program is for everyday life. And um, and then once we do that, then I think the support in Congress is gonna, it's gonna come back, if it's not already still there. But I just know right now they're probably not thinking about it that much. I worry. Last year, I would just keep refreshing Twitter to find out, what's the next, uh, is there more news from Congress? Are they going to support Artemis? Are they going to support Artemis? Um, and I was hoping this year it wouldn't be the same thing. Like we would hear by September that the budgets have been approved. And I know it's just going to be harder. It's just sad. It's just the way it is. But um, again, I hope that we can get through this COVID-19 thing as quickly as we can, get a vaccine out there, and get life back to normal, so people can focus on a really amazing time in human history, especially when it comes to space flight.
Yeah, I definitely share those same desires. And I really appreciate your time today, Steve. And
Okay.
I looking forward to us both seeing Artemis take off. Maybe that time would be less social distancing and more celebration.
Yeah, well, I plan to be there for the Artemis 1 launch. So hopefully we'll get to meet each other.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, and well, you have a good rest of your day, and hope the static fire happens, and then hopefully I think it's June 2nd, June 3rd is where my money is for the DMC.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if they're gonna make the call early on Saturday to say, look, you know what, we're not gonna go through what we did again today and then tomorrow. Let's just, if you look at next week's weather forecast, a lot better. So,
yeah. Well, talk to you later then. Thanks,
all right,
Steve.
Nate. All right, see you. Bye.